This is a paid advertisement on behalf of White Gold. What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Dylan Langille, VP of Exploration at White Gold. Pleasure to have you on today, Dylan. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Aaron. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, very exciting times, and can't wait to talk to you about this. So you joined White Gold last year after being part of the discovery team at Great Bear. What initially attracted you to this project in the Yukon, and what potential did you see here that made you want to get involved?
Yeah, so you're right. I spent the last 7 years working up at the Great Bear Project, fortunate enough to be involved with that discovery team. And that project is on the fast track to production. So ultimately, I was looking for another opportunity in junior exploration and discovery. And I put my name out there, and that's when I got in touch with David, the CEO, and Sean Ryan. The first thing that caught my eye about the White Gold opportunity really was the district scale potential that they envisioned. So Sean Ryan was responsible for doing the groundwork on a handful of properties, 21 properties that span 300,000 hectares in the Klondike district of the Yukon. And he did around 750,000 soil samples to identify a number of prospective targets. And he took these properties and bundled them into a portfolio that he took to Power One, and they formulated White Gold. So that was the first thing that caught my eyes. They have this enormous land package that has been underexplored relative to hard rock exploration. It has a rich history in placer gold mining, over 25 million ounces scraped from those creeks. But really, Yukon was behind in terms of modern diamond drilling and hard rock discoveries. So I saw a long runway for potential discoveries for 5, 10, 15 years. So that's really what got me excited out the gate. And then to add on to that, the other thing that made it quite exciting is that they had a foundation of a resource estimate. So they had 2.3 million ounces at the time I joined the company, and I saw that as a great opportunity to provide really a low risk opportunity that gets me back to junior discovery and exploration.
Awesome. So, White Gold recently released new drill results expanding mineralization at the Golden Saddle and Arc deposits. So, what were the key takeaways from those results, and what do they tell you about the potential size of the system?
Yeah, so the most recent drill results that we put out were on Golden Saddle and the Arc. The one hole in particular in Golden Saddle, hole 216, drilled the main zone at a vertical depth of 375 meters. And that was a pierce point that was a 50-meter step away from previous drill holes. And that hole intersected 3.23 grams per ton over 56.1 meters. But included in that interval was actually 5.5 grams per ton over 30 meters and 9 grams per ton over 12 meters. And the purpose of that hole really was to target three zones of mineralization in the Golden Saddle: the hanging wall mineralization, the main zone, and the footwall breccia, which was really the foundation of our 2025 drill program. And we successfully intersected all three zones of mineralization. And what we were targeting with the high grade core was this interpretation that there are high grade plunges internal to the overall mineralization. So this hole just pushes that high grade core 50 meters further away from previous drilling and demonstrates that we need to continue to step down and drill on the Golden Saddle deposit to further extend that mineralization. Right now, it's really only defined down to a vertical depth of 450 meters, and we believe there's a lot of room to extend that high grade zone. The other zone that we drilled was the Arc deposit. So we did the first step down hole below, say, 100 meters vertical to see if there was continuity in the mineralization that had been drilled previously. So historic drilling has defined that resource estimate along 1.5 kilometer strike length, but only down to a vertical depth on average of about 100 meters, 120 meters. So this was the first demonstration that if you step down on that mineralization and drill it, that same gold mineralization is there. So that now opens up that whole corridor along 1.5 kilometers to do some step down drilling and add additional resource to our estimate. So two really exciting drill holes that we just put out.
So the company is planning what could be the largest drill program in its history in 2026. What are the main objectives of that program, and where will the team be focusing most of its drilling?
Yep, back in November, we raised 23 million through a private placement, and that will fully fund us for the 2025 exploration campaign. And we figure that'll be about a 25,000 meter drill program, and that'll be focused mainly on resource growth around those four open pit deposits. But a portion of that budget will also be reserved for two other categories. One being following up on discovery stage projects where we've already had some successful drill intercepts, and then another bucket reserved for maiden drill programs on targets that haven't seen any drilling.
Great. So, White Gold already hosts multiple near surface deposits like Golden Saddle, Arc, Ryan Surprise, and VG. From an exploration standpoint, where do you see the biggest opportunity for new discoveries or resource growth?
For resource growth, it's certainly around those four pits. To date, there is fairly minimal drilling done on these deposits. We currently sit at 3 million ounces, and that's off the back of a total of 90,000 meters of drilling. And a large percentage of that 60 or 90,000 meters has been focused on Gold Saddle, which has seen 60,000 meters, so roughly 66% of the drilling. I think that speaks volumes to the amount of work that continues to be needing to be done on the Ryan Surprise deposit, the VG deposit, and the Arc. So in terms of growth, I think, or like exciting catalysts, I think, that'll be the focus. But there are other targets like Betty Ford, which is contiguous to the Coffee deposit, where we've had some really strong gold assays come back, really impressive drill intercepts in oxide material. That needs follow-up drilling. I think there's more to be understood in that particular deposit. And then there's other things such as the Chris Creek target, which the company did a maiden drill program on last year. Only 5 drill holes, which identified gold mineralization, broad, low-grade mineralization. But we've identified some key structures to suggest that there's more to be found there as well. And then, there's another 20 properties that have really exciting surface geochemical expressions, but just need some follow-up work as well.
It's amazing the size and scale of your project. So, over the next 6 to 12 months, what milestones or developments should investors be watching closely as the company continues to advance the project?
I think the catalyst that investors and interested parties should keep an eye on is definitely one that the PEA. So we're doing the maiden preliminary economic assessment on the resource. So that'll be on that 3 million ounce resource estimate. We still have some geophysics results to come out from the phase 1 of our 2025 exploration season. And then we have our upcoming 25,000 meter drill program, which will, continue to provide results and news flow going into next year.
Well, thanks for all that info, Dylan. It was a pleasure to get to talk with you. Congrats on all of your previous success, and hopefully that continues here with White Gold. It's an exciting time to be in this industry, and it was a pleasure.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on. It was a great chat.